working Reef, who is just 11 months old, and this is how I start narrows. And you'll notice Reef is not attached to the cart because this is how I start narrows. So the first thing, actually for most of the exercises in giraffe that I want to do, is I want my dogs to be able to do all of the exercises without the cart. Because I just feel like, why add the cart and then add all this other complex stuff? Why not teach it in parallel? So he is learning how to pull a cart right now, but he's in the baby stages. But at the same time, I'm introducing him to all the things. So this is how I start narrows. Okay. So I'm always going to start with the approach that I'm eventually going to have with the cart, which means I'm facing the side of the narrows. This is just how I do it. And the dog's in the middle. And the narrows are more narrow. Now in a trial, I won't have him in a perfect heel position or doing hops or any of that kind of stuff, but I want him to understand that this is where we start. So then I tell him to wait. I ask my dogs to stand. And then we're going to learn to go slowly, very slowly. So I'm going to have my hands out. I want him to follow the hands. I might even stop him in the middle of it in a stand, because we're not rushing. We don't rush. It's not demure. It's not cute. Good. I might even back him up. Good. Yes. Yes. Good boy. Okay, and then I'll release him forward. I want him to learn all the components. I want him to learn the picture of setting up. I want him to learn that I'm going to be in front of him, that he doesn't go around me. You can see this is pretty narrow. It's probably narrower than his cart, or like it would be on the edges of his cart if I were measuring. He doesn't learn to go around me. He doesn't learn to rush. If anything, he learns he's going to have to stop, and he's going to have to back up, and he's at my mercy of like how fast we go. As a judge, I often see dogs trying to duck around handlers and be like, get out of my way, I know where I'm going. And while the dogs might know where they're going, it's not the best look, right? You get a dog that rushes through and then you feel out of control, or you feel like you can't stop them in the middle, that they don't respect your space. But like, I want to just walk into him and him just move out of my space. I didn't even ask him to back up necessarily, but my pressure should be enough to move him back. At least that's what I want, right? The other thing I do with him in the beginning, is I will shape the narrows. I want him to go through the narrows on his own. Okay. So I'll just release him. He goes through. He gets a marshmallow, if you're wondering. I'm not asking him to do anything. I'm just asking him to offer the narrows. Because I don't want him to be afraid of it. I don't want him to think that they're going to crash in. Like, I just want it to be the most normal thing in the world for him to just go back and forth through. If I throw the treat way out, ready, 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 go, with a lot of like enthusiasm, then yeah, he might learn to run through the narrows. But if I just drop it on the other end, he's not going to go fast because he's got to stop to get his cookies. Does that make sense? Okay, so go train those narrows without your cart.